Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're here to rate these players of Survivor 43.
Yes, it's a Monday. Let's break it all down. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Hello, everyone in the chat. You guys are already here. Thank you so much. We're gonna have Kayla from Amazing Race and the challenge, but she is under the weather, so hopefully she will join us in an upcoming week. But Chantele and I still
Hold
gotta
down the fort.
we gotta give out some dice because honestly, someone earned quite a few dice this week
Wow, this
from me.
has piqued my interest. I'm not
Mhm.
sure who that you might be speaking of, so I'm curious as to
I
who this
am
shall be.
ready to give out some dice. Yay. Hello, everyone. But first, before we give out dice, let's talk about this epic double vote out. We had two tribals, two people who won immunity, and two kind of blindsides. So, Chantele, I need to know how you felt about this.
I I was surprised by both
Mm-hmm.
of the vote outs because I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't have all the information. I'm not sure if it was the best decision. I mean, I could see arguments on both sides as to why it could be a good decision, but like I'm not sure yet because
Yeah.
obviously we don't see all the conversations. We don't know what they're actually thinking. So I would love to have the live feeds to be able to really understand why these people made these decisions. But I felt though that James really dropped the ball for himself.
Mm,
I feel as though, he was in a really good position. And I think that he could have just said something to Owen in that little argument that they're having, been like, I'm sorry that I told you something and we did something else, but this really did bring some trust here. It showed that you were willing to do that, whatever. Like, just not
yeah.
having the combative energy back and forth, realize that Owen was kind of upset about this, and that you did deceive him. And it's fine that you could be salty about the fact that he voted for you before, but I think that him making that, he not really just apologizing or having a better way of handling that situation, I think that it kind of rubbed the rest of the players the wrong way, to be honest. Like, and it just made people thinking like, well, who does he think he is to do that, and then have this little bit of a tiff. I think he became a liability to his other alliance members, and that's why they were willing to let him go. So I feel like James could have saved himself in this situation a couple of times. He had the knowledge is power.
Yeah.
I don't know whose he would have maybe taken. Maybe he would have taken the seal vote, or I don't know if he knows that Carla has an idol yet, but he could have done something. So I feel that James could have saved himself in that tribal,
Yeah.
but his ego might have gotten the better of him in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think James and Owen both have are at fault for that fight. They're both to blame. Like nobody handled that well. But seeing James go, it certainly didn't help his game. If he had handled it better, maybe he could have saved himself. Um, the fact that he didn't play his knowledge of power, I think, is because he was outplayed, and that I love. That I love to see. Yeah, was it the best move for everybody? I don't know. Was getting Ryan out the best move for certain
I
people? I
don't
don't
know.
know. I can see both sides, but I loved the blind sides,
Yeah,
and I loved obviously that Cassidy was not taken out. Noel wasn't taken out. Carla. I mean, like, we only have three of them left. Can we hang on to them just a little
please.
bit longer?
I mean,
So
we do have Nicole being like, okay, that's enough testosterone. So I hope that like was ringing around with every
thank
other woman that was
you.
there.
Literally, that was the line of the night. I loved it so much. She's like, Enough testosterone. Stop it. Yeah. So time will only tell if these were the right moves for certain people, but I certainly found this episode very exciting. I enjoyed the vote outs from a viewer
Oh,
standpoint.
absolutely. And well,
Right.
from both viewer and game, I'm happy with Ryan going for the fact that he wasn't bringing anything to the strategic part of the game. Like,
So
yes, you
true.
can drag him to the end and possibly beat him in the end, maybe easily. Fine, he would be a pretty loyal vote to the people that he's working with. Okay, but like. As a viewer, I don't care that you have 30 clams in your bag or whatever that you're taking with you. Like, I don't really care about that. And so, honestly, like I'm happy to have people there that are willing to make moves and play the game as opposed to going out fishing for a few hours instead of like strategizing. So, nice guy, nice smile. He was a comp beast in the beginning of the season, but that did not translate into the individual game. And so, unfortunately, I'm okay with him going because I like
Right.
strategy. I like people
Right.
playing.
I adore Ryan. What a beautiful smile. What a fun, interesting character he was. Classic Virgo traits, wanting to be of service to the tribe.
Mhm.
His way is the right
Outdoors kind of thing
way.
too.
You know, I loved watching him. But it's fine for him to go as far as I'm sure, as far as I'm concerned. Let's dive in here. I'm gonna start us off with Cassidy just to give Chantele a break from that. Um, Look, I enjoy Cassidy as a character. She says some of the things I think.
Mhm.
I don't feel like she has ever quite gained any power. I don't feel like she's in a strong position. She has been a loyal number to Carla, which I think is good for her. And I did enjoy that she was, having the conversations, doing her hardest. Like she was working. She knew she was one of the targets. She knew Ryan was coming for her, and she worked hard to plead her case to Jesse and extra hard to Cody because Cody made it clear he was not sure which way he was going. So I can't give her a ton of dice, but I also don't think she's playing a horrible game. So she is going to be middle of the road for me. Where are my dice? With 3 dice. I've lost my dice, guys. There we go. 3 dice.
I think I said Nicole instead of Noelle, so sorry,
Yeah.
I meant Noelle, but
Yeah,
like
we
you knew
know.
who I was talking about. An
Yes.
N, an O, an E, an L, like you got the name I meant.
Yeah.
And like I have a best friend Nicole, so her name is more on my mind than a Noelle. Um, so I want to give Cassidy a little bit more props for her work this week because we saw on her tribe when Lindsay kind of was spinning out of control and she wasn't able to really handle being the vote and having that pressure on her. And we did see Cassidy when it was going to be her, she was spiraling a little bit at one point when they were still on their own split tribes. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like though she learned something about like really being composed when you're in the position where you might get votes or people might be looking at you to take you out. And I thought she handled being in that position really, really well. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that she was super chill, calm, cool, and collected, talking to Cody, talking to
Mm-hmm.
Jesse, being like, yeah, we formed a bond. Like we have this trust. And like just saying things with confidence that to me, if I were them and be like, oh yeah, we were working with her. Like, why would we want to get her out of here? And so I thought that she did a really good job because I think it would have been better for the guys to keep Ryan around just as a little bit of a shield,
Yeah.
and take away one of Carla's numbers here. So I kind of think that it might have been better for them to keep Ryan. So obviously I'm not sure how the outcome's going to be, but I thought that she should have been the person to go, and I was surprised that she was able to get them to keep her in the game. And so I want to reward that gameplay, and so I'm going to give her a 4.
All right. That is very nice. I mean, I have to agree with what you're saying because, yeah, I think it's Cody and Jesse who probably should have kept Ryan as a meat shield. He's a physical threat, but he's got very little chance to win, right? He's got tiny winner at equity because of
Mhm.
his lack of strategy. The audience gave Cassidy a 3, though, so she is going to average out with 3 dice today.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, but she did. She worked really well. You brought up some really good points, and I'm enjoying her as a character.
And I think that she could go far now. I think that she might be able to hide from the vote for like as it moves on. I think there's a lot bigger targets than she is right now, and I think that she might be able to, make it at least 2 rounds.
Right.
So.
With Ryan out, her name should not float around as much. Yeah, she's one of those like backup targets, I think. If it's like, well, if we can't get this person, I guess I could get Cassidy. Feels like
What's going on with Shot in the Dark though? What like why aren't people using it? Why is it only being talked about, but it's not being talked about like as a real possibility? Like, why didn't people use their Shot in the Darks? I don't get it.
Well, I think on one hand they've been outplayed quite a bit, but I think there were some that maybe people just didn't realize they should probably do it. The less people you have to vote,
The
losing
more valuable
your
your vote is, yeah.
Yeah. And I think we started with that 3 tribe format, gives us less people. It's really hard to risk the shot in the dark. But yeah, it's clearly not a part of the season because the lack of actual conversation about it. I have no hope that it's going to be pivotal. I don't believe that's coming.
I mean, I don't like, that I don't really care for twists, but like, if there's a twist that can kind of save you in the game, like, why aren't you even thinking or considering to use it? I don't know. It's interesting.
This would have been a fine time for Cassidy to do it because
absolutely
she either had plenty of votes to get Ryan out or she was in big trouble. So hey, go for it.
Exactly. It was going to be all or nothing at that point.
All right, Cody, for you, how do you feel about Cody this week?
So I don't know if that was the best move for him. And so I was starting with giving him 5 dice at the beginning because I was like, you won immunity. Like, that's pretty badass. You won peanut butter and jelly for the tribe. Like, you were, people were coming to you. You kind of were the person making the decision about this vote. So you're in a very important position. But I'm kind of worried for him taking out Ryan here and keeping, I mean, they didn't know at this point that, I guess they did know that James was gone. Yeah, and they were supposed to change their vote. Like if James was the one that was out, they were supposed to take out Ryan. Or no, sorry, not take out Ryan.
Cassidy.
Whatever. They're supposed to take out Cassidy. So the fact that they didn't do that, I need to know why that is. Anyways, I just feel like it wasn't a 5 worthy gameplay. I think a solid 4 for Cody here is where I would get him, especially because he has that necklace around it. We know that he has his hidden immunity idol, but I'm not sure if this was a great move for him in the long term. So we're going to still take a little dice away for that.
Interesting. I'm not going to fully agree with you. I feel like, yes, okay, we've definitely been saying over the last couple weeks, like Cody is clearly running things and making himself a target, right? I am definitely not going to be surprised whenever we hit a point and everyone is saying Cody's name.
Right.
But here we are once again. No one is saying his name. He does.
Necklace.
Well, yes, but he does win immunity. So I agree. I start with 5 dice for him. He won PB&J for the crew. I agree. I'm not sure that Ryan was the best move for him, but I loved his gameplay in this. I love that he took his time to figure it out. He was honest, such a Sagittarius trait with Cassidy. He did not fake it with her. He was honest about like, I'm figuring things out. He debated it all with Jesse, who I think he feels very, very close to. And then he took that extra step. He went over to Gabler and said,
with their weird handshake, like, oh, this is really very
whatever
manly.
This is, whatever. But he scooped Gabler.
Don't you get rid of a dice for that handshake?
No, I cannot. I give you full dice for that handshake because what is it? Gabler had been sucking up to Ryan. That was Gabler's plan. He was trying to get in with Ryan. Ryan is now the target. Gabler could have easily been like, got some information. Never would I go against Ryan. Like, who knows with Gabler? But Cody scooped him up, said all the right things, ride or die. Let's take this to the end. And that's exactly how Cody owned this entire vote once again. So, yes, it may backfire down the road, but it has not backfired yet. He still gets 5 dice. Sorry, it's covering Chantel's face. He gets 5 dice from me, you guys. How could I not? Cody is loving it. Loving it.
I mean, I support everything that you're saying right now. Absolutely. But also though, like I agree actually with everything it's saying. But with the Gabler thing, he's such a liability. I am worried that Gabler might, but it's not this week. So I agree with you. So.
Yes, you're right. I hope he does not keep Gabler to the end. Like, that's probably not a good idea, Cody, but he did what he had to do in this one. And like, he's got that salesman thing. He's got that. He comes across genuine.
So much.
I am like so sucked in by him. And I don't like, never before have I liked his archetype, right? Like,
that's not really your type archetype.
No, but there's something about Cody that just I am very impressed with. The audience, however, gave him a 4, so he is going to average out with 4 dice today.
Okay. I mean, it's a solid 4, probably like 4.4. So
sorry, he keeps impressing me. I don't know what to say, guys. I
support what you're saying, though. I just felt like it's just 4 dice, but
the Gabler Gator. It's very hard to say. The Gabler Gator.
Is that what he said? I thought he said something else.
Like alligator. It was.
I know, but it was. I know,
no?
but it was. I think.
Oh no, it was alligabler. Alligator.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm
there
like. It was something like that, but not that.
Not yeah.
Alligabler.
All right. So speaking of the alligabler, he is up next here. What to say about Gabler? Like, look, he's super fun to watch. I do enjoy him as a character. And he has been trying to work a social game thing to like get back into good graces. Last week he voted out an ally though, just to be on the right side of the vote. I'm very much questioned that move, and I don't feel like I saw much more this week to add any dice to the table. So I'm keeping him at 2 dice this week. He seems like he was a number in the vote. I do appreciate that he was fluid enough to work with Cody, but I think that that's just more of him just trying to be on the right side of the vote. So he saw that opportunity with Cody and ran with it and didn't want to vote incorrectly, which I don't think is a great move, that you're not willing to make a move. You just want to vote for the right side. So yeah, as fun as he is to watch, I'm not sure how much game is happening here with Gabler.
I mean, you're so harsh with poor Gabler.
Sorry,
Gabler. I think I'm gonna have to allow him to be middle of the road here and give him a 3. Obviously I respect everything you're saying, but he was on the right side of the vote. He did make that weird handshake with Cody, and it could mean that he has a little bit of insulation protection. When we look at the original Baka, there's 3 people in there, and that's really good. Right now, original Coco only has 2 members on it. And so if he kind of goes together with OG, what was red again? OG
Baka.
Red. Baka was yellow.
Baka yellow, Coco blue, Bessie.
Like they would have 6 numbers and they can get out Carla and Cassidy or whatever. So I do think that he could potentially be setting himself up to be in a numerically better situation than he was beforehand. And so for the hope that he might be doing a little bit better, the fact that I don't remember hearing his name being one that was a possibility, it seemed like it was, no matter what, it was always going to be either Ryan or Cassidy. True. The fact that he wasn't even a thought and he just had 1 immunity, he is somewhat of a threat. you know, that I think I have to give him some props for that. So I give him an extra
Yeah.
dice than you, and he gets
Yeah.
3 from me.
Okay, that's fair. I don't want it to seem like Nick says I've had it out for Gabler since day one. I don't feel like that. I certainly just haven't seen some great gameplay. I'm sorry I'm missing it, but I do hear what you're saying, and you are right. He is not being mentioned as a target, so that should be rewarded. The audience also gave him 3 dice, so he is going to average out with 3 dice.
Fair.
There we go.
I
You
like
guys did
being in
it.
sync with the audience.
Doesn't matter what I think. You guys did it.
Yes, we're in lockstep.
Jesse is up for you, Chantele.
I love Jesse. I also love that Jesse started following both of us, which I was like, oh,
Hello, Jesse. Welcome
on
to our
both
world.
on Instagram and Twitter. I'm like, oh, who's that? Jesse Lopez. So
Hopefully we can bring Jesse on to Nerdtainment after the season.
that would be fun. So I think that he's playing a really great game. I think that he is actually, in my opinion, the most likely to win at this point. It just looks like he, you know, before I was saying all roads lead to Carla, but like right now it seems like all roads lead to Jesse, but nobody realized that they do. And so I feel like he's in a really powerful position, but nobody seems to be threatened or scared by him. Because I don't think that he necessarily made the best decision with this vote, I'm going to just take him down from a 5 to a 4. But I think that he's in quite a good position. I don't think that I think that Carla's going to be happy with him for keeping Cassidy in the game. And so if Carla's kind of his like number one other than Cody, I think that could be a great foursome, to be honest. Like imagine it's like Carla, Cassidy, Cody, and Jesse. Like that could be a really great thing. So I think that he could be in a good position. Obviously, I haven't seen the fallout as to what is going to be working or not working for him after this vote, but I'm just worried. So I'm going to give him a 4 instead of a 5 here.
Yeah, I'm actually agreeing with you. As much as I love Jesse and want to give him a 5, I did compare him to the people I was giving a 5 this week. And so I did knock down a dice because he did not win immunity. You know, Cody got that dice. I feel like he had a lot of say in this vote. Jesse has say in every single vote. And I agree that he's not necessarily the target. Like Cody's a little bit louder. Cody will get the blowback before Jesse does. And that puts Jesse in an even better position, even though he has had just as much say in these votes lately. So yeah, that's the only reason I knocked 1 dice down, but still a very, very strong game. And yeah, absolutely can see him in the end and can see a case for him to win. So for sure. And the audience also gave him a 4. So he is 4 across
the board.
Yay. Lots of 4s there. Okay. And also, Jesse, come on Nerdtainment after the season. Cool. Yeah. Carla is next, and I get to start us off with Carla. Our queen, she won immunity, y'all. She automatically starts at 5 dice for me, and I got no reason to knock her down from there. She's getting 5. Although I am very confused on how this vote went down. I need more information before I deduct dice or make further judgments. Not sure exactly what her conversation with Sammy was fully. And I'm very shocked that she took one of her very loyal numbers out. But as we talked about earlier, I don't think James was doing some great stuff for his game. I had Desi helping me with the recap this week, and James was her winner pick, but she was like, whoa, I think he made some mistakes here. And maybe Carla was worried that it was going to sort of take her down with his ship kind of vibe. So I don't know. I will figure that out hopefully this week with more information. But Carla gets 5 dice from me.
Now, I agree with everything that you said, except I am going to deduct her for 1 dice because I do think that I don't think that was great for her to give up her number. Like, yes, he didn't really act appropriately, or it could be he might have been playing a little bit too messy, and it could pull back on her. She could be scared of his knowledge of his power, that maybe he's going to steal it from her. But he was cheering for her so hard in that immunity challenge, and that shows me that he was really supporting her, and in, like, I think he trusted her and he wanted her to win that necklace and that power. And so the fact that he took her out, she took him out, I just don't think that it was great for her. And I feel like James would be bitter and being like, I was doing everything to protect you, Carla. Like, I wanted to be running this game with you. I took out some of my numbers earlier on in the season because you wanted these things to happen, because we were working together. And so I just don't even know that if she's going to get his vote. And I think that that's also kind of what I have to look at here with this particular move, that it might have lost a jury vote, and I think she lost a loyal ally and somebody that would be in front of her if people were voting people out. So I don't think that she should have let him go. And you saw that she was hesitant in the beginning, so she knew that it was probably a better idea for her to keep him. And so the fact that she was convinced otherwise, I need to see obviously more information, but I kind of have to deduct her 1 dice. So I'm giving her a strong 4.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I'm very worried about her vote if she sits at the end, if James is talking about how unloyal she was for voting him out. I don't know. But because I thought, like, even if she had all of the information and knew James was going and was okay with it, but still didn't put her vote there, just to save her butt if she does sit at final. I don't know. That was an interesting choice, and I do hope that we get more information about it. But the audience gave her 5, so she's going to average out at 5 dice. Because guess what? We love Queen Carla.
We do, but it might have been a bad move.
It might have. Noelle is next. Chantele.
Noelle. I'm kind of fluctuating with a couple of dice scores for her. I do like that she is continuously wanting to take action in her game. She's always trying to steer the vote. She's always trying to do things. And I love that about her. I love the fact that she wants to control her fate or have some say in what's going on in the game. But I'm just curious, and we can talk this through and you can help me convince me either way or the other. But why didn't, like, I know that she was trying to make James feel as though she was stealing Owen's vote, and so, like, he wouldn't be spooked and then play his knowledge as power. But, like, she didn't need to use it at all, like, because she had all the votes. And so was it, like, did they have an agreement that, like, oh, if she uses that means we know that this plan is in play, and that means that everybody else is going to go and follow suit and vote out James? Like, I just didn't understand why she needed to use the knowledge's power in that way, waste it, like, not have any more votes than they would have before.
Right.
And so it was just a little bit too, like, showy, but, like, I didn't think it needed to be. But she got her way. She got what she wanted to happen. And for that reason, you know what? She got what she wanted to have happen, regardless of me being hesitant about how she got there. I think I'm gonna give Noelle 5 stars. Or 5 dice. I think I'm gonna do it. I convinced myself. I did.
You did. You got there. You had to work through it. But 5 dice. I am going to say yes, 100% 5 dice. I was so excited to give her 5 dice today, y'all. Let me tell you, I think that the use of that steal a vote was brilliant. I loved it. I was shocked that it came from Noelle. I have not given a lot of credit to Noelle. I think that her social game's a little iffy. She likes to just tell people what's going to happen, and that's not great for her. But in this case, it worked out because she came up with a really good plan and she told people she was going to do it. And it almost got ruined by Sammy, but it did not. So I think that yes, mathematically, she used it for the same amount of votes. It does seem weird, but James is he does have knowledge is power. He is a big player in the game. You kind of have to outplay him, and I think that's what she did. We sat and talked about, and Jesse talked about it in his tribal, like, whoa, James had the knowledge is power. There were advantages in that tribal. I can't believe he's sitting over there. He's sitting over there because Noelle outplayed him. So she gets 5 dice. So impressed with you, Noelle. You totally, kissed his butt, was like, I'm going to use it on Owen. Ha, ha, ha. Owen, la, la, la. He's going. It fed into James's ego. He's like, yes, this is amazing. Let's get Owen out. So much, though, that he sat there and wasted the fact that he had knowledge is power. When had she not done that, and he might have just gotten a whiff. He's not sure. He thinks that they're voting Owen out, but normal conversation. He could have just to be safe, stole her steal a vote with his knowledge is power, just to make sure he has the vote.
How does the timing of that work, right? Because she just was like, hi, Jeff. Like, I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, immediately, if she starts doing that, could he be like, actually, Jeff, I'm going to use my knowledge is power right now? Like, how does that, do you know?
Well, that one is risky because, yeah, she'd already be saying it. And then he'd be like, oh, Noelle, do you have a or do you have a steal a vote? And then she'd be like, oh, dang it. I don't know, because we've never seen the knowledge is power work.
Because it's bad.
Because that kind of feels like cheating when it's like, I mean, an idol you don't say ahead of time, right?
Right.
But he would have, if it was the idol play, he would have raised his hand before they went to vote. And said, I guess he could do it after the votes too. He would have said, hey, Carla, do you have an idol, or whoever, and taken their idol at any time. But the steal a vote has to be read ahead of time.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I wonder if there's a little parentheses that says it can't be used once someone starts reading. I don't know.
Anyways, I was just wondering though why, like, because like if she just starts doing like, hey, like I'm gonna use this steal a vote, like why, like regardless of if she's using it on Owen or not, like he should have still stolen it. Then that's like you would think. I don't know.
You would think, except that if you think you're running this game, you're like, great, let me let her waste her advantage. I still get to keep mine. Knowledge is power. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it in the next tribal or the next or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I'm so impressed with you, Noelle. Still not sure about your social game.
Is getting some props. Yes.
But yes, Noelle takes it this week. So impressed with you. The audience, okay, wait, you have to give them a 5. The audience gave her 4 dice. Not too shabby, but we take that average up to 5 dice for Noelle this week. Boom. Take it, girl. Take it.
Great job, Noelle. I love her emerging. And hopefully she'll be able to just kind of hide after this, and maybe there'll be some more fireworks that she can avoid being on the vote. But I'm happy that she made this move. Like she definitely emerged as a winning potential.
Yeah, I mean, she already has a really good story if she makes it to the end. And now she has a very nice little piece for her resume. So no one should let her go to the end. But
yeah, absolutely not. But she might.
She should get herself there. All right. Owen and Sammy are left. I will start with Owen here. Our sweet little curmudgeon getting in a fight with James. I don't think all of that was great for Owen's game. It was also very confusing because he didn't even vote that way. He knew the vote. Gabler told him the right way to vote, and he voted the right way. And all of this was just basically to keep the fight going, which I do think helps keep a target on James a little bit. make James mess up his own game. So it's not horrible, uh, but I don't know that it makes Owen look great either. He was also a possible target, and it looks to me like someone else saved him, not really his work saved him. So I am going to give him 3 dice and just kind of keep him in the middle there.
So I'm not sure about this, but I'm wondering if maybe it was all actually intentional, because Owen was let in on the right vote, and he did vote correctly
Yeah.
previously. And so I'm wondering if he was actually trying to have at least it just not be like Owen's the target, Owen goes out, and there's
Yeah.
nobody that he has to even try to get some votes on, because it's just a consensus that Owen is out. So I'm wondering if he used the fact that James lied to him to make this big blow up as a chance that you could at least have another person that you could be like, I'm putting my votes on this person, and just have like some sort
Mm-hmm.
of opposition. So I'm thinking that it's a little bit more gameplay as opposed to him like getting involved in a fight that's bad for him. I think that he just really needed somebody else to potentially get some votes so that he could potentially stay in the game. So I'm going to give him more props than you here. I'm going to give him 4 dice, just because I
Nice.
do think that he might have been doing it on purpose, because
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want it just to be unanimously him being voted out. Absolutely not. Like, let me at
Yeah.
least have somebody that I can try to fight to stay in this game against. And it ended up working, especially since we know that he did not vote for
Yeah.
incorrectly. And so that must have been a lie. Like, he must be
Yeah.
lying to James at that point. And so I think that it was intentional. And so I'm going to give him some gameplay points there.
Good. No, I agree that it was intentional. I just didn't fully follow it, but that's good. Give him the credit. He needs it. Absolutely. The audience, however, gave him 3.
I figured this.
So he is going to average out with 3 dice. Yeah. And I don't even know what his position is moving forward. Do you think he's still going to be considered a target? He's doing a decent job of.
Well, he's going to have what, Sammy and Gabler back in the game
Mhm.
with him. I don't know where he sits right now with Carla and Cassidy.
Right.
But I think that like the only people that really didn't like him, wasn't it just James?
I mean, yeah, James definitely didn't like him, but the only real ally he has is Noel. And I don't think that Noel has a lot of power. So I'm not sure that
He's going to
he's
win
in a
immunity. I think
great
so.
spot. But yeah, absolutely. He could win immunity and keep himself in the game. Absolutely.
He's the only person I have left on the draft. I need
Oh,
him to
no.
stay forever. Have
Yes.
we looked at those points lately? After we should, I would like
Yeah,
to
let
know
me
these.
do that. Let me do that next. Let's talk about Sammy and then let me look at draft points because I haven't done this week, I don't think.
Sammy's also a little bit hard for me to vote to rate, because
Okay.
he makes some moves, but sometimes like you don't get to see fully everything. And like I think it's with the editing style that they're doing. It's like they want things to be surprises. And I
Mhm.
say it all the time. It's like I don't want to be surprised. I want to follow along with gameplay and be
Yeah.
impressed. I'd rather be impressed more than being surprised. And
Yeah.
so I don't really know how much influence that he did have in the end, like what really steered the vote one way or another. But I do have to give him credit for the fact that he wanted something to happen, and it did happen in the end. And so I'm going to give Sammy four dice here. I think that he's pretty consistently part of the conversation of what to do. We saw last week that he didn't get what he wanted to have happen, and this week it seems like he did. He wanted to keep Owen around, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like,
Yes, he said he wanted to keep Owen around, but he said it was more important to work with Carla.
right.
So,
Oh, right. So, and so he must have convinced Carla, which I have to give him some props for, absolutely,
yeah.
because Carla is the god. I think Owen was given James credit being like, the godfather of this particular vote, but I think it's actually Carla. If Carla did not want James to go, it wouldn't have happened, and Sammy did something to convince her of that. So I can't give him 5 because we didn't see it, but I'm going to give him 4.
Uh, yeah, I agree. I'm very confused on what he did to
Yeah.
convince Carla to vote out James. But what he did do is he swapped places with James. He got James
Yeah,
out,
I get some
and I
maybe
have to
two,
imagine
maybe.
he is now in that place. If she made that huge of a decision, she is now considering Sammy as an important number in her game, and I think that that is a really big move for Sammy's part. I'm concerned that Sammy needs other people to make moves. He is a Libra, works best with a partner, and we're seeing that. He last week, the week before, couldn't quite get the numbers to make something happen when he didn't need to do it. He could have made it happen, but it would have been more of a blind side. And he wanted to work with people, so he didn't do it. And here we are again. There was this big move. Noel's making this big play, and he's not willing to be 100% on board unless he gets his partner there with him. So that concerns me in the long run for
Hmm.
his game.
Hmm.
But the fact that he convinced Carla to get rid of one of her very good from day one
That's true.
numbers,
Hmm.
he has to get credit for that. So I agree. It's a
Okay,
four.
I wasn't sure if you're gonna give him five or not.
No,
Hmm.
I thought I already said it, but no, sorry. It's not quite a five. He didn't run the whole vote. He didn't come up with the plan, but he made it work for himself.
Hmm.
I think he got what he wanted, and so he gets 4 dice. Absolutely.
Solid.
The audience also gave him four, so he is going to get four across the board.
Fours across the board.
Yay!
I mean, I think it was strong gameplay this week, though. In general, like I know that we were
Right?
unsure of like how things are going to pan out, but people were playing to stay in the game, and obviously I like and enjoy that. So
Yeah,
it was a good episode for gameplay for sure.
I agree. And I know a lot of people were mad last week when we lost who'd we lose? Janine?
Hmm.
Because that was like, what? That's not even good gameplay. We're losing another woman. Like I know people were just like, I'm done with this season. But this episode was like, okay, we are still playing. We're still making moves.
How do you feel about like this new era now that we know that like okay, so we're gonna have this double tribal thing, and then we're like last week we're gonna have like the sit out for rice thing. Like, are you into these new era changes or like staples? I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These things don't bother me. I'm flexible. I'm a mutable sign. Change is fine with me. I don't need things to be the way that they always are. I don't mind a twist. Yeah, I'm going with the flow.
What about the fact that it seems like people practice their tribal speeches of like some sort of like story about the bus or like what did Cassie say? She talked about the monster and the monster's coming for
Oh,
two heads today. Like, do they practice this before they get on the show? What do you think about
yes. Cassidy just cemented herself on a returning season.
right?
She knew exactly what to say. And Jeff now is like, that Cassidy girl, love her.
Yeah,
Right?
and Owen did another really good one, being like the under the
Yes.
thrown under the bus analogy or whatever. But
This is how they get cast. They said those things in the casting process. Like
you know
that's
what?
how you get on these
That's
shows.
true. Erica did do like the lamb lion thing, and I think she also talked about the monster in her audition
Yeah.
segments. So okay, point
Yeah. I mean,
taken.
this is
It's so cheesy.
if you're trying to get on their show, you got to come up with these things. This is
What
why
am I
I'm
gonna
not on with these
what am
shows.
I gonna come up with? Like the lion's hungry and the lion's gonna
Yeah.
roar. Like, you're
You're
gonna
like
hear
the lion and the monster going head to head. Which one's
the
gonna win? You got to come up with something.
like peacock. I mean, like it's just so stupid, but it's funny to me.
I love it. I mean,
It's too Jeff. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, I mean, the monster one that Cassidy did, I was like, girl, that was so obvious. Like, what? No. But it
They say
sounded good.
it with a straight face
Yeah,
too.
it rolled off her tongue. She was all like, and then she was like the golden monkey on Cody's neck. Like she had some good phrases, but she's an Aquarius, right?
Cassie's is a Capricorn.
Oh, never mind. I love it. Love it. No wonder she's still here. She's willing to put in the work. All right. Noelle got 2 points this week for using an advantage correctly. Boom. Carla won immunity right. Cody won immunity. Cody also won reward. So he got a bump there. Let's see. Oh, Chantele, you are not well. You're beating David. You're beating David. Danny. Oh, Jolene is now winning. Jolene with Carla and Noelle left has 29 points. Danny only has Gabler left. He has 27 points though. And I have 25 points with Jesse and Cody left. So that's the top 3 there. The audience actually is next. They have Cassidy left. They only have Cassidy, but they have 22 points because they had Dwight and Ryan. So they were getting some points there. David only has Sammy left, his number 1 pick, and he has 15 points. You also have your number 1 pick of Owen with 17 points. So
how am I going to make up like 12 points to get into the lead?
Yeah, Owen's going to have to make it to the final 3 and get some votes. Yeah, he needs immunity runs and he gets some final votes at the end there.
So is it going to be a case where I have the winner again, and just because they've been playing not great the whole season that I'm going to lose again?
Well, I don't know. Owen can win comps, so.
But I'm just saying, like.
But it's possible, yeah. It is possible.
It's not good.
That is the flaw in my system. I need to come up with another way to get points that balances it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Big Brother, the way that you lost the season for Big Brother was really incorrect. And I feel like saving or surviving the block.
Get at least 1 point.
Yeah,
something.
Needs to. It takes you back up. When you survive the block, you go back to zero.
Or whatever. Mm-hmm.
So you need to gain points to show that you have some sort of social game or some sort of skill there. I don't know what the equivalent is here for Survivor, but yeah, coming up with something that
like if your name was the other vote, but like you stay, I don't know, maybe you get a point.
I know, getting votes at tribal should be a negative, but it almost should be a positive when we're like gaining, like for every vote you get in tribal, you get a vote. Or
if you stay.
Yeah, if you stay. I don't know. These are things I will ponder for next season, guys. If you have suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Let me know.
Thank you. I just don't want to lose again on a technicality.
I know. But also that's the beauty of the point system, the fantasy league. You're not just doing a winner pick.
I know.
I mean, if he wins, he does get extra points.
No, absolutely. No, I've lost other drafts before for not and having the winner.
Yeah.
I guess.
But you still get to brag and say you have the winner.
But I feel bad though, being like, "Hey Taylor, like I had you for the draft. Did you win? No,
but I picked you.
I picked
you still picked her. You drafted her. Just run with that. I drafted you.
Yeah, I just
thanks for going on the block and losing points every week. Yeah. Yes, Sylvia, who do we think wins immunity next week? Who do we
I'm
think
going Owen.
goes?
I think Owen, I have to put all my faith in Owen at this point. I need him to go on an immunity run and win the game.
I need Jesse to win an immunity. That's what I need. He's up there making moves, but he's not winning immunity, which is on one hand good for him.
How many points does immunity get?
2.
I'll take a couple of those, please.
Yeah. But I think it would be good for Jesse's resume to win a couple towards the end here. I mean, we're only down to 8 people. We're getting down to it. I think we've got a few like front runners, and so it will be interesting to see if they start targeting those front runners or if they're working together, right? We got Cody, we got Carla, we got Jesse, very strong decision makers here. Do they go after each other or do they work with each other? I mean, y'all, how many times did someone say, well, how's Carla going to feel about this? Let me get Carla on side this week. That was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Cody and Jesse weren't even with Carla, and they're talking about how would this affect Carla?
I mean,
whoa,
she has a lot of power.
that's
wild.
some pull. That's
Do we think the
crazy.
knowledge is power is going to be recycled back into the game?
No, please never bring it back ever again. Not this
You
season,
love
not
twists.
next. I love it, but this one is like a curse now. There's no one seems to know how to use it. What happened? Why? It's genuinely not good to have.
Well, nobody can know that you have it.
Literally in the title. Stop telling people that you have it. Stop giving away the power by giving them the knowledge. Like,
yes,
it's so insane that people can't figure this out. And like you said, we're like repeating formats of the show now. Like these people know how knowledge power works.
And when it's probably going to be cycled into the game.
Zip it. Yeah. But that's all the more reason to like take it out. It's done now. Put it on Ghost Island.
Oh, yeah, I could sit over there with the shot in the dark.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, what are these random, like, just, yeah. They don't have to do all this stuff because it's not being used. It's not.
I like the tarp that was from, I think it was last season on the ship Wheel Island. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
the tarp. Like, I'm like, why won't you risk your vote for a tarp? Who cares?
No,
I wouldn't.
no,
None of these small
not
tribes.
gonna do it. Sammy's holding back on comps. Like maybe he could win an immunity. Maybe
I can't. I'm wondering if, like, I know we're seeing a really great edit of Sammy. I think like we see him making moves, but I wonder if he's going to end up being in like the Xander position where they just don't think that he's going to win the game. I'm just curious. I'm not sure if that's the case yet, but
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's why he kind of just gets kind of away with just talking however he wants, doing what he wants, like bringing up people is that they're just not threatened by him. I'm curious.
Yeah, no, I think that Sammy has a very non-threatening vibe to him anyway. He's young. He sounds young. You know, he's not looked at as someone running the game, even though he's trying and making the effort, and he could very easily, you know, make a move or two at the end and scoop up, you know, a spot in the final. But yeah, right now people are not going to take him seriously. Other than as a number, which Carla's doing, and I think that that's interesting.
Very interesting.
We do see people say Cody and Jesse's name in the preview. Now, the preview says everybody's name, and they're not necessarily giving us actual information. But the fact that Cody and Jesse's names are even being said that's a first. Everybody's been like, let's protect Cody. Yeah.
That's fun. I'm curious then to see how it all shakes out next week or this week.
This week. All right, you guys. In America, it is Thanksgiving. So I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving who celebrates. It is a time for gratitude, and I'm a big, big fan of gratitude. So I'm hoping that everyone can find something that they're grateful for and enjoying a week eating mashed potatoes and drinking good booze. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Gratitude, mashed potatoes, and good booze. That's like should be a new card or a new slogan or saying, right? Or something.
Crochet it on a pillow. It's literally what I live for. Mashed potatoes, gratitude, and good booze. That's my life in a nutshell. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for joining us today. And if anyone is joining us later, please leave a comment on how you feel about these ratings. Who'd you give 5 dice to? Who you're rooting for? All of that information. Chantele, anything going on you need to tell the peeps about?
Not specifically, but I do think that this is the last week of Bachelor in Paradise. So I'll be going live later, probably around like after tomorrow's episode, and to just talk about the tonight's episode and tomorrow's episode. It's finally done. So yeah, come and hang out with us as we talk about Bachelor in Paradise finale.
I didn't realize that Rodney was on it. I loved Rodney.
Oh, he just had a big storyline in these
Yeah.
last couple weeks.
Well, I was reading about it on Twitter and I was like, wait, Rodney was on this season? I might have watched had I realized Rodney was on.
You could have started watching like a month and a half ago and you would have caught Rodney. He didn't start on the beach.
Okay. Well, best of luck to Rodney out there. And he's too nice. He's
so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm a Rodney fan for sure.
Is there anybody that is left that you care about?
I mean, I guess I kind of care about Brandon and Serene, but like they were just a day one couple that just like immediately liked each other. I'm curious about what actually happened with Victoria and Greg and Johnny. So it seems like we've seen some footage of Victoria like out in Rome with Greg, but she's apparently supposed to get engaged to Johnny. So I do want to understand the timeline of all these things and how they got out and why they're being so obvious when the show hadn't aired yet. So I'm curious if they're going to get in trouble about that. So those are the only two things I kind of care about. The new Bachelor, not a fan, so I don't care about that. There's not going to be any. What, you love him?
No, I didn't even know that it was announced.
It was already announced a long time ago, and
okay.
I didn't care about that person.
I probably did, yeah. I probably didn't know who they were.
Yeah, he's not, in my opinion, what I look for in a Bachelor. So yeah, I mean, I just want it all to be like completed and done because they did more episodes than they usually do, and I think they should go back to doing less.
Okay. All right. All righty, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye.